My parents gave it to me.
Ditto. Hey,
Yeah.
fantastic.
All right, all right. So I'm here with Eric Baktanian, the writer and director of Be Nice. And normally with my guests, I'm mean, but in keeping with the theme, I guess I'll be nice to you. So,
So much. I appreciate that. Thank you for
um,
having me.
yeah, thanks for coming on. Yeah, this is a really cool short. First question I would have is just shorts in general, because the shorts, like kind of the release of those, are usually different than the feature length. Sometimes people bring them to festivals and they're just meant to as like a calling card. Sometimes they'll put them on a YouTube channel. There's many different ways that you can bring a short out into the world. What's the plan with Be Nice?
So the plan with this one is exactly like you said, a calling card to a much bigger point of the story, where it's kind of like a proof of concept, I guess you would say. Because with this one, it's the whole ideology of what if somebody was enforcing that social contract of we have to be nice to each other. I always think of George Costanza from Seinfeld when he gets upset. It's we have to be nice to each other. We're living in a society. So what if there's a monster kind of enforcing that? So I took that and made it into a very small version of this 7 minute, two kids fighting over candy, monster under the bed. But the ideology of that is like you were saying, much bigger to expand on that. So what if there's an entire town that has to be nice to each other and there's some entity enforcing a social contract? And does the society benefit from it? There's no crime, but you feel like you're in a prison. What is going on here? There's a lot of positives and negatives. Plus, there's the whole ideology of whoever's in control of this monster gets to create the rules. So, uh-oh. And because we've created a monster that you essentially can't kill because there's always jerks in any time period, it works in any time period, in any genre. So it's all kind of very big and encompassing, but under this just really quick 7 minute short as a proof of concept.
Yeah, it also like the whole point of it does bring up the conversation of like with religion, for example. Are you not sinning because you're afraid God's going to send you to hell, or are you not sinning because it's part of your moral construct?
Exactly. Oh, you got it. Yes. Oh, I'm so happy. You hit the nail on the head. It's exactly that. Like it's imagine you go to a supermarket, everyone's like, hello, how are you? No, how are you? No, how are you? But everybody hates each other. Everyone's scared. Okay, what's going on here? And it's especially nowadays, it becomes more and more relevant. And I just love exploring that social contract and kind of fear and politeness and all of that.
So what was putting this together, budget wise, and just getting everything together? What kind of challenges did you have, and what are some stuff that maybe it came in so that's going to be difficult? No, that part was pretty easy.
Exactly. Okay, so this is my first time writing, directing, producing at the same time, and it's my first project under my own production company. So just diving into the deep end of the pool, and I will learn how to swim at that point. So I did all my research, and for pretty much a decade prior to this, I've been in the industry, and prior to that, lots of education. So I figured it was about time. Let me just do everything myself. And what I learned is you have to surround yourself by a very good team. You cannot do it alone. Nobody can do it alone, especially somebody that has not been to start film school. So I've been to all other types of school, but not film school. So you surround yourself with people that are talented and have been to film school, even the ones that haven't. And it kind of like a Christmas trees out because I know a person, I know a person, I know a person. So the way I first started it is I just went on Reddit, which I'm always on, and I went in one of the subreddits over there, and I found a line producer, Wesley Hauptman, right? And just from there, he became the line producer and the co-producer. And from there, he started hiring people. I know a person, I know a person. Our cinematographer, Caitlin Brown, or we were doing another project together. That's how well it worked out. She was like, I know a person, I know a person. It just Christmas trees out. You fill in all the spots. You're like, wow, it's happening. It's fantastic. So that's how you get onto set, right? Once you're on set and all the problems start happening, that's the fun. Just because of the fact that I've done a little bit of vertical integration that there's nobody to run up the flagpole to. It's just me doing all this stuff. I can bring everybody else in and be like, okay, it's a collaborative team environment. Here's a problem. How do we fix this together? And everybody gets ideas and it becomes 12 people working towards one project to make it the best as opposed to one person. I really enjoy that collaborative environment. So problems turn into opportunities and the end product is 10 times different and better than what the original idea was. And it's because of them. It takes a village.
You mentioned line producer, so I know just the title producer in general can mean anything. You know what? I'm a producer. I watch movies. That means like it could be anything, but line producer is a very specific job. Can you explain what that is?
Yes, so correct. Producers, there's so many different types of producers, and everybody uses the term wildly. But specifically, line producer are the ones that kind of works with the budget and tells you, okay, this is the budget we have. This is how much we can spend. This is how much. This is where we should spend. These are the people that we should go to. What do you think? And you kind of work with them and morphing the budget to what you want and all that. So it's a very important. piece of the puzzle, because once you solve that, then you can jump into the role of hiring and everything else. It's like that is the first major roadblock or problem, I guess you would say, is with the line producer that solves it for you and takes you under their wing and says, okay, here's how it works. We can spend a little bit here. We can't spend it on there. What do you want to spend it on? What's important to you? And it blossoms out from there.
Yeah. And sticking on the whole producer thing, if IMDb is to be believed, you were a co-producer on Tragedy Girls, which my friend Andrew Martin was raving about that, would not shut up about it. It's like, you got to watch Tragedy Girls. And I finally did, and he wasn't wrong. The movie's awesome. But what was your role in that movie as a co-producer?
Okay, so Tragedy Girls is a life-changing, okay, one of my favorite experiences and things ever. Like when you talk about your life can make a complete turn after something, that was Tragedy Girls for me. Okay, so I started as a PA on Tragedy Girls. Okay, so I went and I'd never been like on a full-on set before. So again, just learning how to swim by throwing myself into the deep end, right? So PA, and I basically through PA asked a bunch of questions, learned every single person's department. A lot of people took me under their wing. I have a tendency to force everybody else in the room to be the parent. I basically asked a lot of questions, learned a lot of stuff, and made a lot of friends and connections. And then as it progressed into the post-production, an opportunity presented itself where they needed a co-producer. And because I'd gone to business school and I had my MBA, the door opened for me. It always reminds me of Eric Baktanian from Under Siege 2. Chance favors the prepared mind, right? Had I not gone to business school and all that, I would have been able to be a co-producer on Tragedy Girls. So because I've been to business school, I did all the help with all entire post-production, learning all of that as well. So just with Tragedy Girls, I learned everything from beginning to the end of filmmaking, completely changed my life and set me up for this. So I'm super appreciative of that. And plus, it's a very fun set. It was a very fun set to be on. And everybody that worked on it, all the producers, actors, everybody is like a very solid person. I still talk to it today. We help each other out. And some of them have gone on to do some very big things. And that's very exciting. So yeah, Tragedy Girls I'm very appreciative of that. More
Was there
than
any
they would ever know.
was there anyone from the crew of Tragedy Girls that made their way onto Be Nice?
Actually, no. I asked a few people from there for their advice or maybe connections to some people that I would need for positions, but they're more established. I don't want to bother them, and I'm trying to create my own team. Like they're up there, I'm more over here. I don't want to bother them too much, except for a little bit of advice here and there. And but I wanted to start completely fresh. Nobody on Tragedy Girls was on Be Nice, but lots of people on Be Nice are going to be on the next thing for sure. It's because we've definitely formed our team already. It's very exciting. And now
Hello.
that I've established and I know what I'm doing, I can actually reach out to the people from Tragedy Girls because now it's like I'm bringing a lot to the table for them as well. So this is the exciting part.
Yeah, looks like you had a memory box coming out next. And I guess just to back up a little bit, Be Nice will premiere Saturday, June 21st at midnight shorts at TTL Chinese Six Theaters in Hollywood and Highlands. Go check that out. But yeah, memory box, is that going to come out like right after, or is it going to be a while before that comes out, or what's the release plan on that?
Yeah, actually, Memory Box was a short that I made with one of the actors from Be Nice,
Nice.
Danny Paul. So that's a fantastic relationship right there. That's one thing I love about the industry. You work with one person, that's it. You're gold. You're going to work together often. So that one, I did everything on set. I think we were about maybe 20 to 25 people on the crew for Be Nice. On Memory Box, it was just one, me and two actors. And it was very important to me that I teach myself every single position that I'm going to hire people to do because when I'm collaborating with people, I don't want to ask them to do something that I can't do myself. I want to know their plight. What do they get annoyed with? Me as a producer, what can I do to make their lives easier on the day? So that's what I did with Memory Box, pretty much doing every single position, including editing and all that, which I put on hold a little bit because we got into Dances with Films and I had to take care of all of that, which, by the way, I have to point out, another life-changing thing is Dances with Films Film Festival, because having the first thing I've written, directed, produced end up at the historic Chinese theater this coming Saturday is something that you can't really do unless you have something like Dances with Films. That is something they have provided that I will be thankful forever. And I'm super excited for that to them.
And what's like you mentioned doing just a bunch of different jobs behind the scenes. Like what so obviously like when you're directing a movie, when you get into eventually get into feature films, you're not going to be able to do that because it's just too much of an undertaking. You got to get people to do find talented people to do the things. But of all the things you know how to do, what's the one that you're like, oh, if I never have to do that again, like would be so much better.
First of all, I would say outside of all of that, social media, I don't understand how to use it. It's already past me, right? I feel like Abraham Simpson. But I would say the one that I just don't want to do ever again, honestly, the one that I like the most is the one I don't want to do the most, which is the gaffer, the lighting, right? It makes the most difference, but it's so meticulous, right? Like you move the light a little bit more forward, okay, everything else changes. So okay, the white balance, this and that, but that's the most important part. And I feel like people, maybe that's why I like it, because you get really down in the weeds with it, and then you kind of straighten things out, make sure it's straight, everything's correct, and then now you understand the lighting makes a huge difference, and it's just very, I don't know how to put it. It's difficult, but it's such a huge payoff that I don't want to do it. And I just want to have somebody else do it. I want to stand there and be like, a little bit more to the right, a little bit more to the left. Yes, it's perfect because it makes such a huge difference. And people seem to ignore it. And that bothers me. I love it and I hate it. I do not want to do that. Moving all the lights, because you move one, you have to move all the other ones too.
Yeah. And just to remind people, this will be nice. Will premiere Saturday, June 21st. And Night Shorts at TCL Chinese Six Theaters. Last question. Just want to get a film recommendation from you. Something that's either personal to you or it's like this movie's real good and no one talks about it.
Okay. Cabin in the Woods, I would say, if we're sticking with horror, right? I don't know if you've seen it or not, but
Yeah.
it's basically, oh, you have seen it. Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So I love that kind of style because you know what you're getting into, but not really. So if anybody has not seen that, for sure, The Cabin in the Woods, and do not watch the trailer, gives away what's going on. It's got Chris Hemsworth, a bunch of other people in it. Very fun, tongue in cheek, scary, and action. Very good movie.
Nice. Eric, thanks for joining me, and hopefully we'll talk to you again when you got Memory Box coming out, and then again whenever whatever your feature films are. You're an absolute joy to talk to, and congratulations on Be Nice.
Thank you so much, Eric. I appreciate your time. Really appreciate all the kind words and everything. Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
thank you.